Hey guys, it's just a Ginger back with another video. Today's video is going to be a normal type only run in Pokemon Ruby. So let's see if we can do it. The randomizer basically said to do normal, so let's just do it. So I start up my save file. Before I get into the video, let me just go over the hardcore Nuzlocke rules. Basically, no items in battle. Pokemon faints, it's dead, and you gotta nickname your Pokemon. So, and it's extra hard now because now we have to only use normal types. So I'm going through the intro, you know, the basic stuff. It's pretty boring. I talk to May, then I go and get my starter. It's pretty irrelevant. I just picked Trico because then my rival would have Torchic, a fighting type. Well, eventually. But eventually I make my way up to fight May just for this basic tutorial so we can get Pokeballs. And then I make my way back down. And then I get the Pokeballs and I get ready to catch my real starter, a Zigzagoon, basic, perfect, normal type. I catch it, and this names video is just basic names. Like, I went on the US government's most basic name list, or the most common name, and these were the names. So as you can see, I took a lot of time trying to figure out what I should name this Zigzagoon, but once I came up with a theme, I named her, let's see, I take forever naming this. I named her Anna. After we caught our first official starter, then we went to Route 104 to find our next encounter, which was a Tailo. And we got the Tailo, and we named the Tailo John. Classic guy's name. After that, I kind of forgot to record, but we caught a Whismur on Route 116. And that was the only place that we could have got a Skitty. So we missed out on a Skitty encounter, but that's fine because Whismur's a pretty good encounter, although I definitely could have found it in the one cave, but whatever. We're just gonna ignore that. After that, I kind of forgot you can catch the Slackoth right away. I thought you had to cut behind those trees. So this is me running in the grass until I found one in Petalburg Woods. So I caught that and named him Robert, the classic Slackoff. Okay, up next is going to be one of the biggest and hardest gym battles yet. Roxanne, the rock type gym leader. So all of our Pokemon's moves are not effective whatsoever. So my strategy here is to use Slackoff, use Yawn. While it's Yawn and falling asleep, I go and I just either take its defense down or I just raise my Pokemon's attack. So once we get to the Nose Pass, it is just an absolute waiting game because all my Pokemon are pretty low and none of them can really take a hit. I try to send in Hannah for a minute, but that doesn't really work. So I send in my other Pokemon, those don't work. I basically just keep trying to struggle to think what to do, and what do I end up doing for the longest time? I just keep Robert in, and I just go for Scratch, and I'm just taking it down one by one, and healing up every time I can. And I do this for what felt like 30 minutes. And all the scratches, they were very long, and it was definitely not the best strategy, but in the long run it really paid off because none of my Pokemon died and we made it to the next gym. And while training up my Pokemon, I found a shiny Makita, and I was pretty bummed out because I kind of wanted to find another shiny type that I could use like last run, but that's okay. So I just killed it, and Slackoff evolved into Vigoroth because of the training. Very exciting. Okay, next gym leader, Brawley, the fighting type gym leader. Honestly, this was one of the easiest fights yet. Just used John, and John just wing attacked and pushed through. Easiest gym battle yet, honestly, for any of my challenges. And we got the bulk up TM, which is going to end up being very useful. Along the way, Grace evolved into Loudred, and Hannah evolved into Linen. So both of these are going to be very useful in our run, especially since Lanoon has a pretty good moveset. But now is one of the hardest battles usually in the game, which is us against May on the bike path. But we just use a bunch of sand attacks and then headbutt it. And headbutt does plenty of damage, and then we sand attack it. Realize it did a lot with double kicks, so we switch out into John. John wing attacks it, takes it down, and it's a Shroomish left, so that's pretty easy with another wing attack, and there's the battle done. And we get the item finder from May, so pretty good stuff. After that, John evolves into Swalo. Not really a big mention, especially since we're going into an electric gym. And the strat here is to use Mud Sport to weaken the electric moves, and then basically just bulk up with Robert and take it down with Cut. And after we get a bunch of bulk ups and we use Slack Off to heal up, we hit a Cut for about a half and then hit another one and finish it. So now we have the third gym. Next we find a Spinda on Route 113 and name him Michael. So Spinda is actually a good member of the team. After that we found a Swablu instead of a Zangoose, which was very disappointing on Route 114. Whole point we played Ruby was to find a Zangoose, and we didn't get it. Okay, up next we've got our big fight against Team Magma. We had a pretty close call with the Loudred, but then we just switched out and yawned and kind of just figured out what the best strategy was going to be, which is going to be wing attack. So a pretty easy fight there, honestly. We get the meteorite and do all that stuff. After that, we fight the fourth gym leader, Flannery. And the plan here is to just go for the bulk up yawn strat. So we just bulk up 5 times and demolish the team. Might have been easier than Brawley. Honestly, this challenge hasn't been too difficult. After that, the 5th gym leader against our own father. He leads off with the slacking. We lead off with Robert. We had to do our own slack off line against it, and we just set up the yawn and bulk up strat and took it out. Pretty easy fight. After that, we did the Weather Institute, and we got another Pokemon, which we actually aren't going to use for the team just because it switches types so much. Saw that in our last video. Then we faced off against May. Wasn't really too worried since Lanoon now had Surf and Headbutt and Strength, I believe. So we just got flied. Then we got another encounter, Kecleon. Same reason as Castform. We're actually not going to use it because it switches types so much. So kind of a bummer. So there's 2 encounters we kind of missed out on. After that, we're going up against the 6th gym, Flying type. So you know what we do? We do the yawn bulk up strat just for the absolute wipe here. Skarmory kind of holds itself, but you know, we make it through, take out the Altaria. After that, we go to the Safari Zone to try and catch a Doduo, which we do successfully. We caught our last normal type encounter, which was a pretty good one, honestly. After that, we level Mary up our Doduo to a Dodrio already, that quick. Then we faced off against May just to see how we're doing competitive wise, and honestly, Mary is an absolute beast, just wiping out all of her Pokemon with Aerial Ace. Honestly, Dodrio is one of the MVPs on the team. And after we destroy May, we just do the old, let's go make sure Groudon doesn't destroy the world. Okay, so basically we go through the entire Team Magma base. Honestly, it's pretty easy. Every Pokemon's very weak against our flying type moves, so we have no issues there. Only problem is I struggle to find where I'm supposed to go. But eventually I heal up and I go back in and I find the right path. And I talk to the admin, beat him up, no issues there, too easy. Then I heal up, Grace evolves into X-Cloud and tries to learn Hyper Beam. I decide, no way, Jose. And then we go to the 7th gym, and honestly, this gym was pretty challenging. So here's the plan. We're going to just keep using Howl on Grace, and Robert is going to use Yawn on both of them. So after Grace has used Howl a couple times and its attack is up, we're going to start using Strength. And I actually went to the move deleter and taught Robert Slash instead of Cut because I need the extra power plus high critical chance. And we take them both out successfully with 0 losses. Very exciting. Then we go to see Groudon and Maxie's there, and honestly, I got a little lazy in this fight. You'll just see what happens. He sent out my Deanna, I sent out Hannah. I'm level 40, my level I'm doing pretty good, keeping everyone up. I am a little under-leveled for this battle though, but it's fine. Hannah takes some scary faces, and then I send out Mary. Mary starts doing aerial aces to take stuff out. Pretty exciting. I teach Slash to Lanoon, Hannah. Then I use Surf on camera up. I get pretty weak, so I actually send out John in case it does another earthquake. Then I use Double Team twice. Then hits a Rock Slide. I use Fly, and I just stupidly lose John when I should have just switched out. Then I use Aerial Ace. Mary starts to get too low, so I switch out. Then I go for the classic Yawn bulk up strategy that's worked so many times before. And we lost John. So I put Swablu in the team because that's really the only other encounter we can use, even though the Swablu is literal garbage because if we evolve it, then it becomes a dragon type. Then we face off against Groudon, but I literally just run away. Now time for the 8th gym battle, us versus the water type team, so it shouldn't be too bad. Our moves are just effective, nothing too much. So I go for the Yawn bulk up strategy again, and I just start wiping stuff out. Honestly, I thought this was going to be a lot worse, especially with Walrein having all the HP and defense. But once we actually got to Walrein, we just got ready to take it out. Melodic was almost a problem, but oh, psych, he doesn't even have a Walrein. I'm thinking of the Elite Four member. Oopsies, I meant Melodic. My apologies. After we beat him though, then we went to Victory Road and saved right before we battled Wally. And this is where I kind of do something cheesy, but I don't really count it that much. I'm going for the Yawn slash bulk up strategy, you know how it goes. And basically, I switch into X-Cloud. X-Cloud takes some damage. I switch out to Lanoon. Lanoon takes some damage. So then once I sent out Gardevoir, I sent out David because, I mean, he's a normal type. I'm not really using him, so I basically just sacked him for a free switch, which I don't really think is that bad considering he technically is a normal type. So it's whatever. Now we have the Elite Four battle. First one, super easy. We just use Michael to put it to sleep real quick. After that, we go for the bulk up slash setup. And what do you know? We just demolished the entire team just like that. No one stood a chance. No surprise there. Too good. He almost tried to evolve, but I didn't let him. Okay, next up is Phoebe the Ghost type trainer, which is one of the most difficult fights I've had in my run. First, I had to teach Lanoon Odor Sleuth back so we could actually hit the ghost types. And then it's just a constant trade battle where I'm switching, taking damage. Luckily, Hannah knew rest, so I was able to rest, use Chesto Berry to get the sleep off, and just go off and cycle through. Eventually, my Pokemon gets so low, but Michael ends up dying. It is a pretty big bummer because we kind of need sleep. Glacier's up next. Not too bad. We switch in Robert and do the yawn / bulk up strategy. And you know how this goes. Once I get them all up and I use Slack Off to heal up, I just slash through her entire team. Everything goes down in one hit. It's pretty great. Then I do the same thing with Drake, with his team going down. And finally up is Steven Stone the champion. And this battle is pretty difficult as we only have Robert, Hannah, Mary, and Grace, and technically we have that Swablu, but come on, it's basically pointless. We haven't even used it once. And we just go for the slash strategy. You know how it goes. And it works pretty effectively. Once we start getting to the bigger Pokemon though, it gets a little more difficult as they're rock types or steel types. Once we get to Aggron, we just use Yawn to put it to sleep. Then we switch to Hannah so we can use Surf. And Surf does about half health damage. Then we get to Crowdley. We switch out to Robert. Robert starts to use Yawn. And then Robert gets really low, so we switch out. Then we use Then we use Chill Peck. It uses Full Restore. We start taking it down. I'm ready to just sack Mary. I'll just sack anyone at this point just so we can take the win in this challenge. So Mary goes down. I send out William. I use Parasol hoping to just hit it. I'm not even fast enough. Then I send in Hannah because I'm just thinking I just need to do enough damage. So what do? I go and I use Rest. And basically it's pointless. Then I use Surf. Barely survive. Use another Surf. Get it into yellow. I think this is it. Because I taught Grace Overheat. This is now or never. We need Overheat to do enough. I hit Overheat. And basically we just barely win with the special attack drop. So we actually were able to win this challenge. This challenge, honestly, I didn't think it was going to be that hard until we got to the end. And we let Robert evolve into Slacking as it can now rest forever. So there we go. We won the challenge. If you guys enjoyed this challenge or any of my other videos, make sure to hit subscribe. I'm trying to do 2 videos a month if I'm lucky. Honestly, some of these challenge videos take forever. But if you guys want to see more content, make sure to leave a comment and like. Honestly, I reply to every comment. So if you comment, most likely you'll get a reply back from me. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks or whenever I finish my next video. Have a good night.